Hey everyone, welcome back to Gem and Cozy. We are doing our May journal recap, which covers all of my junk journal spreads for the month of May. April was a lot longer than May from what I can tell. I think I had a lot of trash from Japan to work through, and I still do. So this is my first spread for the month of May. It was very low effort, and I had a lot of fun with the Taco Bell logo. I used my leftover little gems from my diamond painting kit and basically made my own little diamond painting kit for fun. So this is a great way to use some of those extra little pieces, and I'll show you how I used it for some other accents later on. I kept my Taco Bell receipt and just scrapped some random little sticky notes and papers that I had from Gem and Cozy. And I also had a bunch of Harry Potter themed stickers from my niece. When I made these spreads, I had no idea what was going on with J.K. Rowling, and I do not want to promote an author who is anti-trans rights. Not only is it Pride Month, but I am so shocked and bewildered by the fact that this author wrote an entire series about people coming together to fight discrimination and embracing our differences, yet their personal beliefs do not align with the entire story that they wrote. We all deserve to be seen, we all deserve to be loved, so happy Pride Month. I'm moving on. This is the next spread. I went to North Carolina for about 2 days for a little road trip. So I decided to journal on the go for the first time. I had drawn all these scribbles on this page prior to test out the markers, and then I brought a little kit with me with my pens and some glue so that I could stick little components on as we drove around. So we had some Chick-fil-A and a lot of tea at the hotel that we stayed at. And this is my first time using part of a clear bag from Chick-fil-A with the sauce, and I cut it and I glued it on, and it looks so cool because it just blends into the page. I also checked out some restaurants, so that's what this little Asia pot is. And I also saved this cream cheese spread from our morning breakfast, which was complimentary at this hotel. And I feel like ever since I was young, I always got really excited when a hotel offered continental breakfast, even if it was super basic. There's something about like a fun free breakfast and those little waffle makers that get me very excited. And this particular hotel had a slightly fancier continental breakfast, so the cream cheese spread was delightful and I kept it from that. I also started to use a lot of my spring sticker sheets as well as the bow one, which are these two sticker sheets. I am so happy with the bow one because I was hoping that it would last longer and that it would help fill in some of the smaller sections, and it really did the job well for me. So I hope that everyone who picked one up is enjoying all the tiny little bows and the tiniest little buttons. They're so fun. So there's a little button right there. Next page was kind of a continuation of our little travel. We actually brought Safi with us, so I was really worried because this was her first time staying at a dog-friendly hotel with us, and we were kind of curious how different it would be, but honestly it was exactly the same. They just basically charge you a fee for your dog staying with you, and then you just need to make sure that your dog is well behaved. And Safi is such a sweet girl, but she can be very noise sensitive and anxious, so I was so worried because she started to kind of feel off, and I think it was because she was stressed out. I think maybe she saw too many dogs or we went to too many parks. I don't know what it is because we've taken her on the road before and she's loved it. We'll stop at a bunch of dog parks and just local parks and walk around. But this time around, she was a little more on edge. So we basically ended up bringing her with us everywhere we went so that she didn't feel stressed out at the hotel. And that way we didn't have to worry about her possibly getting noise sensitive, because they sadly placed us at the very end of the hall next to the stairwell and the gym and pool entrance. So it was not the greatest setup because there was so much hallway noise. But I'm very proud of her. She did a good job, and We had a pretty good time. I think that traveling with a dog is really hard when you have a dog with needs. And I think a lot of people don't understand what a dog with needs looks like if they have a really easygoing dog. So it always sounds like I'm this really intense person when I'm talking about my dog because I feel like I need to check in on her more often if she's staying with someone while we're traveling, or we have to do all these extra things to make sure that she feels comfortable that other people probably never think about. We actually have to pack her boiled chicken on the go, and we bring her crate with us so that she has like this, safe space if she wants to be in like a dark place. And because she's not a good eater and because she's so anxious, I feel like we have to do all these extra things to make sure she's comfortable. But the first time we took her on a road trip, she loved it so much. The good thing is she likes being in the car. So I thought she was going to enjoy this one, but I think she was feeling a little off. But that's okay. This was just extra receipts and some notes from the experience. I also saved a little liquid IV pack and one of my old thank you cards that I wrote the name wrong on the back. And I continue to write all of this during the trip. So it was just me jotting down some thoughts on the go, mostly at the hotel. I had a huge shipment of the Feeling Stabby sticky notes, and I ended up with so many of the front cover sheets, so I decided to make a couple of these little to-do spreads, and I just kind of themed it to match with some of the other sticky notes and trash that I had. I didn't really have too much going on when I made this, so I used some sticky notes that I think I started writing things on that I ended up not using majority of the page for, and I always find it really wasteful if I don't use it all, so I will put them in my junk journal. This was from a little thank you card. This is a little ghosty from Happy Olive Studio that used to be on my iPad, but it was kind of peeling on the edge because it's been there for a while and it's on this like bending point, so I moved it over here so that I can still look at it. For this one, I just used it as like a little to-do list. I've realized that when it comes to my productivity and the way that I operate, if I condense what I need to do for the day into a really short list, I stay much more accountable for it. So this style of kind of like, hey, you need to do this, and then you just kind of cross it off like a little bingo card, this works really well for me if it's just like an idea page. But if I have stuff that like I absolutely need to do like this, then I like to just write it down and cross it off to really make sure that I'm doing exactly what I need to do, because I notice that when I get to my computer, if I don't have a list, I feel like I start just doing all sorts of things. It's not that I'm not being productive, but it's not organized. And it's usually not in the right priority because it's so easy to be like, I don't want to do the thing that I need to do, so I'm going to do all these other things to feel productive, but they actually aren't things that I need to do right now. So instead of writing everything under the sun, I will write down exactly what I need to do over the next day or two, and this works really well for me. So I can actually cross off May journal recap because I'm working on that right now. Also, I saw this really fun quote somewhere that says, turn your to-dos into ta-das, and that is totally going to turn into my next checklist notepad, maybe with my little hocus pocus ghost, my hocus focus ghost. Wouldn't that be so cute? He could be in this like bottom corner. Actually, this is totally a she in my head. She could be in the bottom corner of the notepad. The top could say, turn your to-dos into ta-das, and then she could be right here with like the lines. And I could put little moons and stars. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna make that. That's so cute. My next spread is probably my favorite from the month, and this is kind of in the true spirit of junk journaling. I remember I worked on this while I was watching random recaps of old Korean dramas on YouTube because for some reason they were recommending that to me. So it was showing me random clips of Boys Over Flowers, which is such an old drama, but I think I watched it when I was in high school. It was very popular and I could not remember anything really about it. So when the clips started showing up, I was like, okay, I'm gonna turn this on and I'm gonna junk journal. And I felt like that was the most creative time I had making this. I had some extra art prints at the time when I started to run out of my thank you cards. I had this strange thing happen where my thank you cards got lost in the mail and it was not showing up. The tracking was not updating. It was just in limbo. So I ran out of the old ones and I should have had the new ones in time, but they arrived weeks later. So in between that time, I used some of my anti-anxiety art prints and printed my little "You're so awesome" note on the back, and I used them as thank you cards. But there were a few that printed incorrectly, so instead of throwing them away, I decided to collage one in here. And I really like the purple. It's a fun vibe. I also really like the way that I drew this rose. I've never done this style of rose drawing, so I would love to turn that into a separate little sticker if I make a sticker sheet with roses. I used my lighthouse Post-it note sticky note here, as well as some random magazine scraps, and I had some sour jelly beans from Alex, my friend, who sent this to me for my birthday, and this little section looked like the perfect little cutout for a photo, so I printed a cute picture of Safi. The Nutella wrapper was actually also from that weekend in North Carolina. I saved it. It's so cute. I love mini food packaging. And I just kind of used some mini stickers from the Bloom sticker sheet, as well as a few just like stray stickers that I printed with my Cricut, and a few little add-ons that I got from Happy Olive Studio. So this is a pretty cute spread. I think I was trying to kind of be on a gratitude attitude flow. Oh, and I used some extra little diamond painting beads to make a little heart, which is really, really cute. I wish I did a few more. I'm definitely gonna make more of those. This spread is kind of a birthday gift spread. I kept a bunch of notes and tags and business cards from gifts that I got, so that way I can remember the business and I can keep some of the handwritten notes. So I got one from like an Amazon gift, so I put that there for my bestie, and my friend wrote me a little note about the Ruboy's tea that she sent me, and she also sent me cloud socks, so I kept a bunch of the wrappers. This is a little business card from a sticker that I got from my friend Katie, and that was a little candy packaging, you know, little fun things like that. I got a Trader Joe's canvas bag, so I thought that would be fun to keep. That way I can remember where everything is from, especially the list of nail polishes that I got. It has all the names on it, which is really nice. And this is actually one of the colors. This is, the blue is Mercury in retrograde from Mooncat, and then this one is so pretty. It's from Lurid Lacquer, and the color is Prototype, and my friend Alex got me this one. I put it on my ring finger and my thumb. I don't know if that's like a thing anymore, but when my aunt used to run a nail salon, whenever they did designs, it was always on the ring and the thumb. So now it's kind of ingrained in my head to do that as well if you're accenting rather than doing all the nails. I feel like these days you go all out and you get designs on every nail, but back in the day it used to be just these two mainly, unless the person had a specific idea. But my aunt would do these like fun little, like long kind of wavy strips that kind of look like fun ribbons curling, and then they would put little 5-dot flowers on them, and it would always be on these fingers. On to the next page. Oh goodness, this was such a chaotic page. So I've been having a lot of health problems over the past few months, and I started kind of working through what I need to do with my PCP. So I created a take your meds spread because I was taking a 2-week dose of a medication, and I wanted to also write down other symptoms I was feeling. So I used this as a very like relaxed tracker, and I put my little take your meds sticker here. And then I sort of used this space for random things to write down some of the symptoms I was feeling and whatnot. It was really just an extra overflow page. I had some really cute tape from a package I received and some little scraps of paper that I wanted to reuse. This was this random tag I got from a bag of grapes that I bought recently. I've been really into eating grapes, and that's really new to me because I usually don't go out of my way to buy them, but it has been such a great little refreshing snack. In the bag, there was this little tag and it was handwritten, so I was like, oh, this feels kind of special. So I stuck it in there. That is one of those little citronella smelly patch things to ward off mosquitoes that I got when I was playing with my niece and nephew outside. And it's so cute and it's fuzzy, so I kept it. The medication was for 14 days, so I had to extend it down to here. And this was from a restaurant that I ate at called Panko Chicken, and it had a little graduation hat because it was around graduation time. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot that this spread happened last month. Wow. This was probably my favorite spread now that I think about it. I know I just said that for this one, but top two, I guess. This was the first time in a long time I really committed to a color theme. I usually don't plan things through, and this wasn't that planned either. What I did was I saved a bunch of things that ended up matching. So I got pineapples, and I had this brown paper thing, an envelope that was yellow on the outside but orange on the inside, and I was like, wait, these colors are gonna go so well together. And then I ended up with the cuties. So I saved those together just for this, and then I went in and accented it with stickers that matched. So I used only the orange and then like the yellow for the stickers from Gem and Cozy, and it looks so cute. I think that this really inspired me to want to do more themed color kind of journal spreads like this, because sometimes it's just visually so fun to look at, and it gives you a little bit more of a challenge when you feel like doing something slightly more artistic or structured. I honestly think there's nothing wrong with doing it, you know, in a way that like doesn't flow. Like a lot of people will be like, this turned out so cool and looks so good, but really it wasn't intentional that the colors ended up matching up, you know? But this was a lot more like, let me save the stuff and sort them to make it look nice. I did this one in bed, and I did make a post about it. It was a lot of fun, and I was testing out some of my calligraphy brush pens, so I took my time to kind of like write out things and just jotted down some thoughts as usual. This was a really nice like pillow talk kind of moment for me, and I might do this more often. It was nice to have a creative session before bed and kind of just get my thoughts out on paper. Also, look how cute the tiny little buttons are. They're the tiniest. I love them so much. Next spread was kind of a continuation of using some of those scrap colors from the envelope. So I actually glued all of these down after I worked on this because I had so much left, and I was like, what if I just threw them down and then added onto it later? So that was a fun way to set up the next spread for something different. So I had random sheets of paper like this, random scraps of sticky notes, and I just stuck them down. This page kind of is a recap of me missing New York. I went last summer, and I had printed some pictures from the trip for my travel journal, and these didn't print on the right setting, so they're kind of blurry, so I had to reprint them, but I decided to put these in this spread instead. So I saved them, and I recently came across it, and I was like, oh, I really missed this. This was Central Park, and my boyfriend and I picked up a lemon meringue tart from a nearby bakery, and it was so good. And it was really sunny that day, even though we were there in the winter. This was from 2 trips back, actually. So this was like November. It was a perfectly sunny weekend when we went, even though it had been so cold prior. And whenever I'm in New York, I always want to get bagels because their bagels are amazing, just like their pizza. So I love a good lox bagel with the capers and everything, and it was so big, and my boyfriend doesn't like the salmon, the lox, so I had to get this and eat one half in the morning and then save the other half like for like an hour or two later, and I was like, I'm so full, but this is so good. This was a New York City postcard that I had that I thought would be nice to put in here, and I just used it as a flap to write more stuff in it and wrote random stuff here as well. I actually ended up really liking this whole rip up the sheets and stick them on for your next spread concept, so I will definitely do that again. Oh, I remember making this. I had such a nice day the day I made this, which was just so funny because I didn't really do anything, but it was an errand day and we had to go grocery shopping and get peanut butter, and I had this free blind box, so all of this stuff just happened in a really nice way. I have been showing so much Panda Express lately, oh my gosh. So my boyfriend really likes Panda Express. I did not really grow up eating Panda Express. The only time I had it was when I would go to Six Flags, because there's one in Georgia and I used to go in the summer a lot by getting one of those season passes. So that was really the only place we would eat Panda Express, and I never knew what to order or anything. But then recently my boyfriend's like, ooh, I'm really craving this, and I was like, cool, I support you, let's go. And now I really like it. So the orange chicken honey sesame chow mein combo is our favorite, and I saved the receipt. I cut up all of the cute little things from my blind box, saved the fortune cookie stuff, and it all just came together in such a lovely way. I had a little stamp envelope from my Happy Mail. Ooh, after I had that really great moment with the yellow spread, I kind of decided to do a green one. This one was based around two elements: the matcha chocolate packaging and the inside of envelopes that we get for like the bills. All of them look like this. And then when I was throwing all of this stuff away, I realized, hey, this would be really fun on a spread. So I ripped it out, stuck them in, and knew it had to be more of like a background sticker. And I really like it. It added a lot of fun texture. And once those elements were in, I was like, everything else has to be green or blue. So I used the Hey Boo Hocus Focus and a cute little Stardew Valley sticky note that my friend Katie gave me. These are so precious. And then I had a few stickers that were green on my holiday sticker sheet, so I put those in there, and a little grade B panda sticker that's ripped up on the corner because my Cricut decided to shoot it out. So yeah, this turned out pretty good. I realized after I made this spread that I didn't have that many green bows on here. Or maybe it's because I used some already, but I used all my leftover green bows. And I kind of want to make sticker sheets that are just all one color, so that if you guys are ever making stuff like this and you want themes, then everything can just be like, here's the green sticker sheet. Go all out and do that. So that's kind of an idea that's been building in my head, and I think that would be really fun to have like a pink sticker sheet, a blue sticker sheet. And that way, if you're vibing with a certain concept, you can just use that entire sticker sheet. Let me know what you guys think about that, because another option I can do is like 2 color waves. So if a whole sheet of green stickers is too much, we could do half green, half blue, half pink, half purple. That kind of split maybe would work better. I don't know. This spread is not really finished, but while I was cleaning out my office to prepare for the move, I found a gazillion sticky notes that I had started writing down notes on and ideas on. So I scrapped them all in here because they were not gonna get looked at otherwise. So I actually ended up going back to the Don't Spread Yourself Too Thin and turn that into the June sticker for Stationery Club. And I had some other just like fun quotes and ideas. Instead of throwing them away or leaving them all in a pile of sticky notes, I figured it'd be easier for me to stick them on here, and that way I could just like check them off as I go and maybe add some more. I really want to make the ghosty posty. I think this is more of the punny rhyme that I like, so I want to turn that into a postcard, but I also might turn it into a sticky note because the term is just so cute. I also found a sticky note when I used to go on live on TikTok and I was learning everyone's names, and I wrote down everyone's names next to their users because I used to chat with people for like hours at a time, and the same group of people would always show up and I'd be like, what are your names, so I can learn them. And then I found this, so that was like really heartwarming to see. I haven't gone on live like this whole year. I just haven't. I don't think I've been in like the mood for it, and I don't think that I use TikTok the same way that I used to. It's such a different space now, which shouldn't stop me, but it kind of has. It's kind of a lot to like turn yourself on for a live session. This is actually my last spread for May, and I have this much of my book left that I feel like may not last me through the whole year, depending on how it goes. But look how chunky this book is getting. It's amazing. I'm having so much fun with it. Like, oh my gosh, so cool. Thanks so much for hanging out with me and coming along for my May junk journal recap. It's always fun to look back on what I've created because I usually don't even remember what I've made. So this was fun. I had some really great mantras that I wrote down from somewhere that I found, so I'm gonna end the video with that. Not this part. I'm guided by my intuition. I am trusting in my magic. I find healing in letting go. I reflect my worth in my values. Those are so good. Let's do some healthy reflecting. I think my favorite thing about May after seeing these spreads is that I am really grateful for starting my health journey of figuring out what is going on with my body. So as hard as that is, and as frustrating as that is, I'm glad that I'm taking the steps to get things checked out and see if I can figure out what exactly is going on. So I think that even though that was a tough part of April and May, I think it's also starting to become a highlight of May because I am pushing myself to get this figured out and try to better my health. So let me know some of your reflections, and I will see you guys next time. Take care, everyone.